Let me tell you a little bit about the man that you see before you and that you're going to be eating his food here in a minute. You know, here at ZestFest, we have like the murderer's row, like the 27 Yankees of chefs. And all of them have an incredible curriculum vitae, as it were. And Vic is no exception. Studied at the Arizona Culinary Institute. Did time, as it were, at the Four Seasons True North in Scottsdale, an incredible resort out in Scottsdale. If you ever get out that way, it's worth going to still, even though he's not there anymore. And he also has been on the Today Show and has been on the Food Network and the Cooking Channel, the History Channel, and all of that. So he gets his bona fides legitimate. However, in addition to being an incredible cook, and I'll let him tell you the whole story, he has the world's largest hot sauce collection, over 10,000 bottles. And he'll tell you all about that, how it came to be, why he did it, and everything else you want to know. And he's going to cook you some Mexican street corn with mixed pepper relish. Would you please welcome Vic Clinco?
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Good morning. I'll try to get through this. My voice is kind of gone from talking through the whole weekend, and he might have drank a lot of wine and tequila shots. So, but that's beside the point. So thank you. Yes. So thanks, Scott, for the introduction. And I also just take a second just to thank Chef Dana. If you've not seen her through the course of this weekend, she makes everything happen up here. So Chef Dana, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So we just get to kind of walk up here and look like rock stars because she actually did all of the work. It's amazing. So yes, I'm going to make a Mexican street corn elote. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pickle some onion, jalapeno. I'm going to do a couple poblano peppers, and we're just going to make a quick pickling. So I'm going to start on doing that, and basically all I'm going to do is pop in a small pot, and we've already pre-mixed it. It's about a cup and an ounce-ish or so of water and some. You can use apple cider vinegar or just regular vinegar. I just put regular vinegar in this one for today. And so all I'm going to do is bring that up to a boil, and then we're going to pickle our items. So when you're pickling, doing this quick pickling aspect, you can do it any way that you want. We, for the demo process, and I'm going to show you how we did that. For the demo process, we dice them up, but you can also do nice thin slices, and you can do a jalapeno, a little bit of red onion. Just let it sit in some water, a little bit of sugar, and I like to put a little sweetener in mine. Yesterday I used maple syrup. Today I went out and tried the Evil Cowboy Buckle Honey Hot Sauce, which is a peach and habanero honey, and it is absolutely amazing. So I changed up my recipe just a little bit for today to kind of use their product and give them a big shout out for where they are in the back. Go visit them because this is an amazing product. So I'm just going to add a little bit to my water and my vinegar. All I'm doing is simply bringing it up to a boil. Put that up there. Once I bring that up to a boil, I'm going to find a vessel and I'm going to put my vegetables for that relish, pickled relish, in something and just let it sit for a little while we do the rest of the demo. So, Scott said that I have the largest hot sauce collection in the world. I do. At this point right now, I am just shy of probably 11,000 bottles, and that's not even including the ones that I've purchased and done through the walkthrough, and we haven't finished getting more sauces to ship home this weekend. So I've been collecting for 26 years now. It started simply enough. I've always been a spicy fan. I've loved hot food since as far back as I can remember. My grandfather had a garden in his backyard up against the garage. He was growing all kinds of peppers, and I think I was pretty young, maybe 7, 8-ish. Bring that down a little bit. I would watch my grandfather and my dad break jalapenos off of the plant and just sit in the backyard at the picnic table and just eat them raw at the table, and it's sweating and just, it was fun. You know, they used to kind of challenge each other on how much they could eat, and they just kill themselves in the backyard. So I thought, wow, at 8 years old, that looks kind of fun. So that's really what kind of spurred me and my obsession into this world. It was a few months later or so, as I got older, I realized that my heat tolerance was just a little bit higher than most everybody else. So just like each of us is an individual, right? Our hair colors are just a little bit different. Your taste buds, your pain receptors in your mouth are just a little bit different too. So some of us are born with a little bit of a higher tolerance and can eat hotter and enjoy hotter. Some people have to work on it a little bit. It's kind of like drinking alcohol, right? The more alcohol, you kind of build up your tolerance after you've been doing it for a while. It's the same thing with hot sauce, chili peppers, and the sweet. So I've got a nice boil going here. So all I'm going to do is simply transfer my onion. I have some yellow pepper, some red pepper, poblano, and red onion in there. I've got that nice boil going, so I'm going to turn that off. Again, that's my vinegar, water, a little bit of sugar. And all I'm going to do is simply pour that over it. I'm going to add a little bit of lime juice. And I like just to kick up that lime flavor just a little bit more, a little bit of lime zest. Right? So I don't want too much, I don't want that to be overbearing, but I do want that limey zing at the end. I'm gonna get a good mix on this. And that's beautiful if you can kind of see that color. Let that sit and pickle itself. All right. Flash forward, met my wife 27 years ago, weren't even married. She realized that there is no other way of describing it, an obsession for hot sauce and spicy food. So for our first Christmas together, she had bought, it was I think 7 different hot sauces from all over the world, and some of them were the Aztecan brand, and so I had some funny labels and stuff, and it was great. So I had lined them up on the breakfast counter for Christmas and the holidays, and when folks would come over, they would laugh and giggle at the labels and all the funny stuff, the crudeness of some of them. So just kind of, I don't know, just kind of pinged in my head. So built a shelf. I had already started collecting mugs and bowls and different things with chili peppers and such on it. So I put all of the hot sauces together, and now 26 years later, I've got almost 11,000 bottles officially. I went to Barnes & Noble and found a great book. It was called the Great Hot Sauce Book. It was a thin book. It had a picture of someone's collection on the front. It was actually the author, Jennifer Trainer Thompson, and it was a picture book of hot sauces. And at that point, much like I think a lot of people, the viewpoint into hot sauce was the grocery store shelf, right? Which is a really, really small window. You have no idea that the craft section is out there. So as I was going through that, and the book was broken down by styles, Louisiana style, Caribbean style, Southwest, I absolutely floored. I could just remember flipping through that book over and over and over again and looking and just seeing, and there was in the back, it had talked about hot sauce collectors. And I was like, again, mind blown. I was like, wow, who does something like that? Next thing I know, I'm doing it myself. And it was kind of fun. I still think it's fun. I like the treasure hunt aspect of it, as in going to new places and going to new grocery stores and little bodegas and hot sauce shops all over, everywhere that we travel, looking for new sauces. And yes, I am strange. I don't have a photographic memory. It's getting a little worse as I get older, but I'm great at picking out a label that I don't have. Even though I'm looking on catalogs, I'm looking on the internet, I have a weird thing I'm able to find and remember what I have. I couldn't tell you exactly where every single one of them came from or by who, but I'm pretty darn close. It's an eerie thing. And it's funny, so friends and family, the wife kind of came up with this game. We lived in Phoenix for a while, had a huge display, so we came up with a drinking game. So the wife and whoever was there would come in, had little pieces, little Post-it notes. They would write a name of the hot sauce on the Post-it note. They would throw it in a bowl. It was, if I could find and I knew where it was located in the room in less than a minute, they had to drink. If I couldn't find it in my room in over a minute, then I had to drink. So it was a win-win situation no matter which way you looked at it. But I won a lot, and they drank a lot. So now that I have moved on, so I grew up in Florida, I was born in New York, so just I guess food cultures from everywhere really kind of broadened my horizons and made me realize that, wow, there was just so much. So as you start going through and you're looking into different hot sauces and you find yourself doing research into different flavors and different companies and where they're coming from, it correlates with the chili pepper world as well, right? So you're talking about what a poblano pepper tastes like, fresh, compared to roasted, compared to a jalapeno, right? Burn profile, where it does. Habaneros burn on the front. Ghost peppers burn on the back of your throat, right? Some of these super hots that are out there, just all enveloping heat, just all over your face. But the colors, right? The flavors, all different. And again, that was to me, and I hadn't even really kind of climbed into and kind of found my niche in the culinary world yet, but it was just so interesting to me that all of these different peppers, they're all chili peppers, but the tastes were all different. And my mind started to kind of work through how do you incorporate that into the food and using what different pepper in what dish is just fascinating to me. So my background, for the most part, was in retail, and all I'm doing is melting 2 tablespoons of butter right now. And I'm gonna let that kind of go slow so I can yak to you guys and tell you a little story. Most of my background was in retail. I would think I was 40-ish, 42, one of the oldest students. So I decided I had already started writing for Chili Pepper magazine, and the articles that I had, one was Sauce and Tell. And it was basically my way of being able to tell my story visually on the hot sauces that I had found, the hot sauces that I had added into my collection, opportunities like this, and then recipes in there that kind of correlated with the story that I put. So I said, wow, I'm struggling a little bit with recipe development, so I went to culinary school. I went to Arizona Culinary. Part of the curriculum for most culinary schools is that you actually have to work in a restaurant. So I put a couple of applications in, talked to some folks, so chef instructors helped me, and I got on with the Four Seasons in Scottsdale, which was just blown away. That was my first kitchen working opportunity. And it was amazing. So I interviewed with, and I think it was because of who I was, I interviewed with 3 different chefs, the executive chef and 2 of the under chefs, because when I came to the interview, instead of bringing my resume, I brought all of the magazines and all of my articles and kind of showed them what I had been doing and my passion. And I guess you can kind of hear, I like to talk about hot sauce, and I just go yap, all about it. So it was really cool. So they helped me to kind of fine tune and really kind of corral in what I wanted to do, because I didn't know what, right? So hot sauces and peppers and everything was just so mind-blowing to me. So they really kind of helped me in that aspect to kind of focus in. So I ended up running, and I don't know if anyone has ever been at a Four Seasons resort. They feed their employees every single day. There's an actual kitchen that is located on the site. They provide a free lunch and a free dinner to anyone that works there. So I got to work in so I can see him giggling because he knows where I'm going with this next. So I ran I was the lunch lady for Four Seasons for 4.5 years, right? So I cooked the lunches in big batch for everyone, and everyone loved. The chef would allow me to do it at least once a week. He didn't want to overdo it and burn everybody's taste buds out, but I was able to do a spicy day once a week, every day. So that was pretty neat. All right, so all I've done again is melted my butter. What I want to do is I have some garlic. I'm just going to add that, and I'm going to add some chopped white onion as well. What I want to do is just kind of soften this. I don't want to overcook them, but I do want to get them started so they soften a little bit. Also sweat, if you've heard that culinary term, all that basically means is getting it hot enough, cooking it just enough where the onions and garlic kind of become a translucent color, right? And it's called sweating them. So that's what I'm going to work on now, and I'm going to let it go real low. So opportunities open up to me. It was pretty neat. So I was writing for the magazine, working at Four Seasons, dragging my wife all over the country going to hot sauce shows. Kay John was like, wow, you guys are here all of the time. Why don't you just come work with us? Come hang out. You know my sauces just as well as I do. You guys are in retail, have great backgrounds, able to talk to people. So I started working at Kay John's booths for all of the big hot sauce festivals, and it was the first one that I had ever done was here. And it was easier for him to kind of bring us out than bring somebody else out of the kitchen or the warehouse or something like that. So it kind of opened up opportunities for me. And as a collector, as I kind of walk up and down, I was always like a kid in a candy shop, and we came to do the setup the day before, and always corralling me, grabbing me by the collar, because all I wanted to do was look at who was coming and who was going to be at the booth, and look at all the new labels and what I was going to get to collect. So it really worked out well for me. And then he'd been a mentor in my life for so long, and not only just in the hot sauce, but in life itself. So it was great again for me to have the opportunity to be out here. I'm going to get that cranking up a little bit because I'm probably running a little low on time. I want to add my jalapenos in there now, again, just to soften them just a tad. Many of you know, and I think Kay John will have his demo at 3 this afternoon. He retired a few years ago, sold the company to a company called Hot Shots Distributing, and that is who I work with now. So not only am I the saucier for Hot Shots, I get to run the operational side of it. I get to do the bookings for all of the shows and sauce development. And I think that's, like, again, a dream come true for somebody like myself who was just a fanboy, right? I'd just come into the shows and kind of looking at it, and now I've worked, and it's been a 20-year process and journey, and now I'm actually getting to work every single day in an industry that I love so much. It doesn't even feel like a job. That's what they say, right? When you do something that you love, it's not really a job. And I think that's where I am right now. Again, crank the heat up a little bit so we can get moving on time. All right, onions, garlic, jalapeno. I'm now going to add my corn. So Mexican street corn, you can do it on the cob. You can actually put it on the grill, kind of get some grill marks on it and roast it a little bit. I like this version. This version is a little easier. You can use fresh corn, take it off the cob. You can use frozen corn. It's totally up to you. I want to put a little char on it, so I'm just going to kind of let that sit there and get brown. I'm going to put a little salt and season. And I'll tell you, this is challenging, right, to cook and talk and explain. And then the torrential tornado that is here blows all of your spices, so be careful, right? Make sure you get it in there. Little chili pepper powder, just a tad, and some cumin. All right, and I'm going to add some pepper flakes since I see them here, because what is a spicy dish without a little spice? Just going to get a good mix on that. I am gonna crank up the heat even more. Okay, and let that char. This is on my build. We're gonna check on my pickled, and they are looking fantastic. Good deal. All right, so I think it's probably time to kind of open it up. I know, so a lot of people kind of think, well, what is 10,000 bottles of a hot sauce? What does that kind of look like, and how does that kind of work? So I'm open to answering any kind of questions about that. So as a collector, and there are collectors of everything, right? Baseball cards and stamps and whatever. My outlet was hot sauce. And now that I've been doing it as long as I have, people ask you, well, do you collect just reserves or specially made short special edition sauces and reserve sauces? Or do you collect this or that? I collect everything. If it says hot sauce on the bottle, I get it. I don't care if it's 79 cents or it's $599. I want it in the collection. And so Flash, this thing that has kind of gone on for 20 years, it's taken on a life of itself, and social media has been absolutely phenomenal for me too. So if you get a chance to follow my Instagram, Pepperboy143, that would be fantastic. So what I do now is that I have a pretty good following. I've been doing it for so long that I want to help out the small makers, right? The folks that are just getting into the business. Help them through getting some visual, getting views, getting some folks to kind of go back and take a look at and hopefully buy their sauces. This is looking really good. I've got a nice brown on the corn. I'm going to let it go just a little bit more. So I look at it as if I can help promote the industry and it builds up. I got it. Well, shoot, more people make hot sauces, there's more hot sauces for me to collect. So it's really kind of a win-win situation for me on that one. Let's get nice char. You guys can kind of see that. It's looking good, smelling good down there. All right, cool. All right, let's get the heat turned off on that. And we're going to put this in our bowl. Get all the goodies. All right. In any type of cooking, we want to make sure you taste your product as you go. You don't want to make sure that you have under and or over seasoned. All right. A little more pink salt. I'm going to put a more, there we go, chili salt, chili powder. I'm going to add some lime zest. I'm going to add some more lime juice. What kind of recipe would it be from a hot sauce collector if there wasn't some sort of hot sauce in it? I'm going to use Cajun's Awaken hot sauce. Got a real nice cuminy garlic flavor to it. A little bit here. All right, so then we're going to add some Mexican crema, or you can use sour cream if you need. I like to do the crema because it adds just a little bit of a zing to the dish. Get a good amount. Big component in this is mayonnaise. So some of the traditional that I was kind of talking about earlier with, when you couldn't cook it on a grill. I lived in Phoenix for 13 years. In downtown Phoenix, there's actual elote vendors that ride around on bicycles, and they have hot boxes right on the side, and they will sell you elote in a cup or on the cob, right on the street. And I think, it fascinated me to be able to, and some of them are just absolutely amazing, the things that they're adding. So mayo, that sour cream or Mexican crema. I am going to add some cheese, let's see, that. I have some more red pepper flakes that I'm going to add to it, because it needs a little heat. Evil Cowboy is sitting out there looking at me, so I'm going to add a little of his hot sauce so he doesn't beat me up behind the stage. That is that. All right, we are going to plate this one up. Let me see if I can find a clean bowl. I'm going to add a little bit more red pepper flake for decor, for garnish. I'm going to come back to my pickling, right? We pickled our jalapenos. There's yellow pepper, orange pepper, red pepper, and poblano in this as well. It's just for the garnish. Again, we did it diced because it was quicker and easier for big batch here, but you can thinly slice them as well. I want a little cool pile right on top. Beautiful. I'm going to add a little bit more of a drizzle. Wind is challenging up here. And then it's actually powder, a little more lime zest. And Scott, I think that bowl's for you. And there we go. Mexican street corn with a little zing, little spice.
Thank you so much, Vic Clinco. Very fresh, it doesn't feel like October when you eat something like that. That's a very summery dish.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Anyone have any questions for Chef Vic? Oh, and of course it would be someone on the other side of town, all the way over there in Plano. Let me get over there.
I'm just wondering, I'm wondering if we could try your corn dip.
If I try any of the hot...
If we could taste what you just made.
Oh yeah, they'll be bringing some out.
Oh, perfect. Okay. That's all.
Ask and you shall receive. Absolutely.
Great question.
So that's a really good question about the hot sauces too, because I do get that question a lot. So from my collection, everything that is on my shelf is sealed from the factory. I do not open and or eat anything off of my display. What I try to do is purchase two, and a lot of folks will send me two, because the first thing that they want to do is ask my opinion. Well, what do you think of my hot sauce? What do you think of my hot sauce? How's that one taste? So I get a lot of stuff sent in, but I tell them if they want to be in the collection, one goes in the collection. They usually have them autograph it for me, and then it goes up on the shelf, and then I have one to taste.
Fantastic. Chef Vic, thank you so much. It smells amazing out here already.
Absolutely.
Sampling over there, you can see our sampling models walking out with, I don't know about a model, I probably should use a different word. But thank you, Chef, and thank you for all of us here at ZestFest.
Thank you.